for the median, we have here an example. And for this example, number 1 and 2, so obviously this is considered as ungrouped data. Why? It's because the number of samples for number 1 is only 9. Okay? So, take note class that we are to find the median. Now, the first step before finding the median is to arrange the data. It could be you choose the ascending order or you could do the descending order. So it's up to you class. As long as you first arrange it before finding the median. Now for the example number 1 here. So since there are only 9 samples here. So the first step that we're going to do is to arrange it. Okay? So for the ungrouped data class, there's no formula. Right? All you have to do is determine if the number of samples is an odd number or an even number, and from there we'll be able to pick the median. So first step is to arrange it. So what is the lowest here? It's 79. So 79, and the next one is 85. Yeah, 85. And then we have 87. We also have 89. And we have two 90s, 90 and 90. And we have 91. And we have 98. And we have 100. Okay? So, after arranging it, by the way, I arranged it in ascending order. So after arranging it, you have to determine if the number of sample is an odd number or an even number. So in this case, our number of sample is 9. So obviously 9 is an odd number. Now when it comes to odd number, paano nga mag-determine ng median? So simply kung ano yung pinaka-middle. Okay? So, sa 9, ano yung paghahatiin mo siya sa gitna? Ano yung magiging median natin? So, obviously, this will be, so 4 sa kabila, 4 din sa kabila. So, ito 4 din siya. So, obviously, our median here is 90. So, in this case, median is MD class sa MD is 90. So, this is answer already for example number 1. Okay? Walang formula. Now, how about for number 2? So, we are given here scores also, and this is considered as still ungrouped data. So, still, first step is to arrange it. Okay? So, what is the lowest here? It is 8. Okay, so 8. Next is, we have 10. And then we have 11. And then we have 13. And then we have 14. And then we have 15. Okay, and then 17. Next is 21. And then we have 24. And lastly is 25. Okay, there. So 8, 10. Okay. So how many is our number of samples here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10. So obviously 10 is an even number. So what will be our median, or how to determine the median? So still, we will divide the data into 2. Okay, we will divide it. So 10 is 5. So we have to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is where here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So here lies your median. So what we will do to determine the median, so we will simply add the two numbers within this line, within this middle. So 14 plus 15 all over 2. So in this case, 14 plus 15 over 2, that is 14.5. So therefore, median is 14.5. So this is already the answer, class, for our median, which is ungrouped data. Okay? Now, how about if the given is a grouped data? Okay? So, we will have a different formula for that. Okay? And it will be a little bit longer. Now, if you can observe, the table is already constructed, but like I have said, class, not all the time ganito na yung given. There are problems na yung given is nakaganito siya, yung raw data pa lang. So, ikaw pa yung gagawa, ikaw pa yung magko-construct ng table, gagawa ka ng classes, as well as you are to determine the frequency, as well as the midpoint, if kailangan, the cumulative frequency, and all. Okay? So, yung gagawin natin dito is isosolve din natin yung median. So, before that, let us first write what is the formula for the median for the group data. Now, if you could recall, here, the formula for median is LL. Okay, copy lang natin. LL plus bracket n over 2 minus f all over your frequency times your class size. Okay, let us check again. N over 2 minus f. Okay. Okay, so in this case, we are to find first your n. Okay, so looking at the table, your n here is 67. By the way, class, if you can observe, this big letter F is the less than cumulative frequency. Kung ma-observe mo, class, iba yung pagkasulat niya, ha? Pero parehas lang to. The one that I have taught you is greater cumulative frequency. So, in this case, pabaliktad siya. Or parang, oo. Pero the same lang yung class, ha? The same lang siya. Kung ma-observe nyo, ito yung kinapi muna niya. Ayan. And then, subtract here. So, ito siya. And then, subtract. Ganyan. 49 minus 13, ito siya. 36 minus 15, ito siya. 23 minus 6, ito siya. And ito, baliktad. Ito pala. Yung 67, ang galing siya dito sa total n. Okay, tapos 67 minus 9. So, the answer is 58. Tapos 58 minus 9 is eto. 49 minus 13, eto siya. 36 minus 13, eto siya. And 23 minus 15, so on. 8 minus 6, 2. And as you can see, they are equal here. Okay? So, less than cumulative frequency in class. Now, the first step when solving, let's go back to the formula now, ha? The first step in solving for the median, you have to determine the n. And like I said, the n here is 67. Okay? So, after that, what will be our lower true limit in this case? Okay? What will be the lower true limit? Now, before that, class, you have to solve this first, the n over 2. So, in this case, that is how much? 67 over 2, that is 33.5. Okay? If you can observe, this 33.5 is the middle of your n. Tama? Kasi, dinivide natin sa 2 eh. Kasi yung purpose natin is to determine the location of the median or the middle position. So, that's why we have divided it by 2. Now, 33.5, yan yung pinakagitna niya. Now, ano yung gagawin dito sa 33.5? Yung gagawin natin, class, is hahanapin natin siya. Hahanapin natin siya dito sa ating frequency. Can you follow? Hahanapin natin siya sa ating, ito, sa frequency natin, itong big frequency. Ito mo hahanapin. Okay? There. So, saan siya nabilong? Okay? So, kung ma-observe natin, class, nabilong siya right here. Okay? Napapaloob siya dyan sa may 36. Right? Now, dahil dyan siya sa 36, ngayon, ano yung titignan natin? Yung titignan natin, class, is eto. Okay, so like I've said, the location of your 33.5 is right here, right? Here in the 36. So obviously, our median class is this one, 92 to 93. So in this interval, which is 92 to 93, what is our lower true limit? That's the question. Okay, so since our lower boundary here is 92, so all you have to do is subtract 0.5 from there, so to determine the lower true limit, and that is 91.5. Okay, so from here we already have the lower true limit as well as the n over 2. Now we are to determine the frequency, the less than cumulative frequency. Now in this case, the less than cumulative frequency is the less than cumulative frequency below your median class. Again, the value of our less than cumulative frequency that will be used in your formula is the less than cumulative frequency below your middle class. Now, in this case, class, saan nga ulit yung middle class natin? Ito. Okay, ito siya. So, ano daw yung less than cumulative frequency below that? So, in this case, ito, which is 23. So, ito yung gagamitin natin as our less than cumulative frequency. Again, class, yung gagamitin is yung nasa baba or yung below or yung lower than of your middle class. Kasi ito yung middle class natin andito na locate yung 33.5 natin, which is the half of your total frequency or your N. Okay, so 23 siya. Now, how about for the value of your frequency? Now, the value of the frequency, class, is the frequency in your middle class. In this case, our frequency is 13. Do you follow, class? A little bit of complicated, pero i-practice niyo siya. Okay, again, the first step is to determine first your N. After that, determine the N over 2 to locate the middle class. Once you determine the middle class, so hanapin mo siya dito sa less than frequency mo. Less than cumulative frequency mo, kung nasaan siya nabilong. So, hanapin mo dito kung saan yung greater or equal sa 33.5 mo. And in this case nga, dito sa 36. Okay? Dito ka titingin sa frequency kasi, sa cumulative frequency. So, kung saan siya nabilong, okay, yan yung magiging middle class natin. And in this case, 92 to 93. So, out of this interval, ang gagawin mo is to determine the lower true limit. At para makuha yung lower true limit, all you have to do is subtract 0.5 from the lower boundary. And in this case, 91.5. After that, you have to determine the value of your less than cumulative frequency. But to do that, kailangan na doon ka kumuha sa lower than your middle class. So, kung ito yung middle class mo, your value of less than cumulative frequency is below that, which is 23. In this case, 23. Okay? And for the frequency naman, kung ano yung frequency ng middle class mo, yun yung gagamitin mo. Okay? I hope na nakukuha niyo, class. So, substitute na tayo dito, class, sa formula natin. So, our lower true limit is 91.5 plus your n over 2 is 33.5 minus your less than cumulative is 23 over your frequency is 13. By the way, meron pa pala tayong isa na kulang, which is your class size or class width. Paano kukunin yung class width? So, simply subtract eto or eto, subtract natin, or yung lower true limits, subtract natin. So, in this case, this is 2. So, your I is 2. So, multiply lang natin to ng 2. Okay? And this will become our median. So, using your calculator, class, we have 91.5 plus, we have 33.5 minus 23 over 13. If you are using your scientific calculator, kasi you can encode it directly. Pero kung yung ano lang, ordinary calculator, so isa-isahin mo talaga siya. Okay? So, 93, the median is 93, okay, I'm sorry, wait lang. 93.115. Okay, I will check it again, ha? 33.5 minus 23 over 13 times 2 plus 91.5. So, 93.115. So, ayan na, class. That's the answer for our median for the grouped data.